Are we back? Heck yes. Welcome to the first Dallas Software Developers Cohort for 2026. My name is Denis Garcia, and I'm one of the admin for the Dallas Software Developers. And in case it's your first time hearing about the cohort, let me break it down for you. A cohort is a 6-week program that our group puts on in which a team of developers are led by 2 professional software engineers who have experience in the industry to plan, create, implement a full-blown application that solves a real-world problem. Each group are given 4 projects to choose from, with each having their own specific requirements to meet by the end of the 6 weeks. Now, if you'd like to learn more or are interested in participating in a cohort, please visit our website at dallassoftwaredevelopers.org/cohorts. For this cohort, we have a waste management system to help plan routes, a tutor application to help align students to tutors and help track progress, a pet shelter inventory tracker that allows shelters to track pets and foster parents' inventory, and finally, a construction tracking system to help workers track tools for work. Each team were given the flexibility to create their own personal spin on the projects, which is why you'll see some duplicate projects in the following presentations. Now, let me say that 6 weeks sounds like a long time, but it quickly goes by really fast. These folks put in the work and had to learn to work with the team in a matter of hours. I can't say enough of how hard these folks work, and the projects themselves can show it off. Now, join me as we review each team's project. Let's go.
Every day on construction sites across the country, expensive tools and materials walk off job sites, costing the U.S. construction industry between $300 million and $1 billion annually. So we asked ourselves, what if the crew had a way to check out and check in those tools? What if the foreman had a way to track those tools and materials in real time, as well as track project cost? That's why we made EasyTrack.
Alrighty, this is the EasyTrack project management demo. We're going to start here in the sign up page. This is where all the users will put in their information to create an account. We have 2 different roles, the foreman and the crew. We do have accounts set up, so we'll just go ahead and log in as a foreman. You see the first thing that pops up is the foreman dashboard with a nice little welcome message, a date, time, and then on the left here, all of the different pages that they have access to. So starting here in tools management, this is where they manage all of the tools that are available for the crew members to check out, to use on their job site. They can come in and create a tool right here, mark it as available, and select a project for it. We can see it pops up right here. We can also filter by status, filter by project, and then whenever you want to go in and check out a tool, you just click on it here and it opens up the tools details page. The foreman can then edit the tool if they need to change the name of the project or the status, and then it'll show the assigned project as well. Moving on to the materials management page, we'll come in here and select a project, and we will track all of the materials for each project. So here we can come in and create a material, whether it be wood or drywall or screws, whatever it is. That material will then be attached to this specific project, and we can see all the materials, the quantity, unit cost, and the low stock threshold as well. So this will give the foreman an alert when their materials reach a certain quantity. You can see drywall sheets, we have a quantity of 10 and the low stock threshold is 12. So this allows the foreman to see what materials they need to replenish. They can also go in and edit the tools if they need to, again, change the name or the quantity, and then also record usage. So we can go under our nails here and say we used 20 nails, and that'll record that for that project. Then going into project management, the last tab for the foreman, this shows you all your active and completed projects. We can filter by that status as well and search. When they create a new project, they just enter the name and the start and end date. Go into the Cowtown Castle project. When you're viewing a project, you can see the tools that are currently assigned to that project, their current status, and who they are checked out by. And you can also view all of the materials. So we have all the materials associated with the project, their cost, the quantity that we've used, with those usage records that we were doing a second ago in the materials page. and then it shows you here at the bottom the entirety of the total project cost. So this way they're able to monitor that more closely. They can also mark projects as completed. However, if there are tools checked out, the crew members will have to go in and check those tools back in before the project can be marked completed. Okay, now we are logging in as a crew member. So this will pull up the crew dashboard where they can view the current project that they are working on as well as their currently checked out tools. The only page that they do have access to is that tools management page. So this is where they can see all the tools that are available, checked out, everything. They can sort by status. They can view their currently checked out tools and filter by project as well. Whenever they want to check something out, they just simply click on it. It'll take them to that tools details page. They click that checkout button. It is now assigned to them, and then they simply check it back in, and it is available again. And that is it for the crew.
Now, I'll briefly explain how the backend works in the app. When a user performs an action, such as creating or updating data, the front end sends a request to our API. That request is received by one of our API endpoints, which then routes it to the appropriate controller, where the business logic is handled. From there, the controller interacts with our database, hosted on Supabase, to store or retrieve the necessary data. Here you can see the database tables that represent the main entities of the application. The schema visualizer also shows how those tables are connected and how that data relates across the system.
If you're a parent investing hundreds of dollars a month in tutoring, what's the one thing you need to see to keep writing that check? The answer is progress, and right now, most tutoring centers make that almost impossible to find. The private tutoring market is valued at over $120 billion globally and continues to grow, but tutoring centers face two expensive problems that limit their potential. The first is customer churn. Research shows that 60% of parents have considered switching tutoring providers, and 65% said that they struggle to keep up with their child's progress. When parents cannot see tangible results, they leave. The second problem is revenue leakage. Centers lose an estimated 2 to 4% of gross revenue to unbilled sessions and payment delays alone. When you layer in administrative overhead and no-shows, that figure can climb up to 15 to 30% before it reaches the bottom line. Momentum Learning was built to solve both of these problems. Let me walk you through our platform, starting with the experience parents see every day. Before I show you the dashboard, let me explain the technical challenge. How do you actually measure a child's progress in tutoring? It's not straightforward. We solve this with two data sources. Number one, session metrics. After every tutoring session, the tutor fills out a quick form. It has the confidence score, session performance, homework completion, and tutor comments. Number two, academic grades. Parents can input their child's grade from school. The key question was, who enters this data? We made the tutors responsible for session metrics. They're the ones in the trenches with the student. Parents own the grades from the school. This division of labor ensures accurate and consistent data capture. Here's the ROI dashboard. Parents see four key metrics: grade trends, a line chart showing letter grades over time, color-coded from green A to red F, homework completion, a pie chart showing completion rate, performance score, tracks how well the student is mastering the material, and four, confidence, tracking the student's self-assurance over time. Parents can filter by student, subject, and date range to see exactly what they care about. We opted for Shatsian UI to balance high-level speed with low-level control. Here's how we optimize our development. 0 to done speed. Instead of building complex data visualizations from scratch, we utilized a pre-integrated component library. This saved weeks of dev time by providing a ready-made architecture for axis grids and tooltips. Composition over abstraction. It's built on recharts, but doesn't hide it. We use standard components, line chart, bar chart, and only layer in Shatsian for specialized UI like chart tooltip, which means that we have full control without the black box feel of other libraries. Seamless integration. Since Shatsian was already our established component library, these charts inherited our existing design tokens and layouts immediately. Here's a line chart showing grade trends over time. We use chart container with our config for theming, standard line, x-axis, y-axis from recharts, custom chart tooltip for beautiful tooltips, and color-coded grades, green for A's, red for F's. Now, let's talk about revenue. Parents buy tutoring hours upfront in blocks of 10, 20, or 50. Instead of invoicing after the fact or chasing down payments, the platform automatically deducts 1 credit each time a session is completed. No untracked hours, no manual billing steps, no invoices fall into the cracks. Parents see their credit balance in the sidebar at all times. When their balance gets low, the system alerts them. Purchasing additional credits takes a single click, and every transaction is logged in our credit transaction section. Let's switch over to the admin view. Here's where it gets interesting for the admin. The credit system does more than just collect payments. It prevents revenue leakage. Let me show you the billing cards on the admin dashboard. Number 1. Sessions billed. Total credits successfully collected from parents for completed sessions. Number 2. Sessions pending billing. This is the key one. Sessions marked as completed but never charged. This is direct revenue leakage. The system automatically flags those so the admin can review and charge them manually. Number 3. Pending notes. Sessions that happened but tutors haven't submitted notes yet. Here's the critical piece. Credits cannot be charged until notes are filled. This ensures parents get value before we take their credits. 4. Accounts needing attention. Parents with fewer than 2 credits who need to be contacted for top up. Behind the scenes, there's a complex matching process. When a parent books a session, we match their requested time slot against tutor availability. Here's the tricky part. Tutor availability is stored as weekdays, for example, Monday 9 to 11 a.m., but book sessions are stored as UTC timestamps. The system. We convert the date range into ISO dates, map each date to its weekday, generate 1-hour UTC slots for availability windows, and we compare against already booked session using time range overlap logic. We return only the free slots. This ensures parents can only book valid time slots. No double booking, no time zone confusion. Now for the tech stack behind Momentum Learning. This is a modern full stack app built with Next.js 15 and React 19 using the app router. We went with TypeScript throughout for type safety. For styling, we use Radix UI primitives for accessible components. On the backend, Supabase gives us a Postgres database with real-time subscriptions. For code quality, ESLint and Prettier kept the whole team in sync. Same formatting, same linting rules. And Husky made sure every commit followed consistent writing quality with conventional commits. Hopefully, I was able to show you how parents can visualize progress and how tutoring centers can secure revenue and prevent leakage. Thank you to our team leads Thomas and Belle, and my teammates Andy and Brady.
Hello and welcome to the Happy Tales Management App, our team's solution to the logistical challenges that animal shelters face all over the world. Animal shelters run on tight financial margins due to 1. Losing thousands of dollars from poor inventory management, and 2. Sick animals returning to the shelter due to lost medical records and miscommunications during the sheltering and fostering process. Happy Tales is our logistical solution where we provide an easy-to-use interface with mobile responsiveness in mind. We sought to address these issues with 3 key features. 1. A robust animal profile database, a centralized source of information on every animal in the shelter, both past and present. 2. A medical continuity log for every animal. That this allows foster parents and staff to log and view all the history that they need, from medical treatments to where the animals come and gone, and anything else they want to add, along with a foster supply checkout tool so that the shelters can track items loaned out to parents that or people that are working with the organization while fostering an animal. Going behind the scenes for our planning and project management, our team used Excalibur when sketching this out for creating our user stories and the wireframes as shown here. Lucidchart for database planning and establishing our ERDs for our soon-to-be DB models, and GitHub projects as our means for tracking progress of tickets to work asynchronously together.
Now let's discuss some technical aspects of the application. The front end was built in React.js with TypeScript, utilizing ShadCN components, stylized with Tailwind CSS. And then we used ZooStan to manage state and FreeCharts to create visual representations of the data for staff to view.
And then to build on top of that, for our backend, we chose to use Express due to the easy to initialize setup for what we're looking for out of our database. Prisma ORM and Postgres in terms of our database initialization. As we felt in terms of scaling what we were looking for, Prisma met our DB needs more than sufficiently, and it wasn't as strict as MySQL is when it comes to DB management, along with providing Swagger documentation of our API that's available on our GitHub repository. And with that, when you first log in into our animal shelter app, you're provided with an interactive and customized introduction to the dashboard, where if you're a manager especially, you'll be pleased by the visual charts that we've provided that break down certain pieces of information such as inventory by the type, the items checked out, and an animal status by breakdown. If you then go to the next section, we provide an animal listing page that allows a user to search for an animal with basically any amount of information. And if you're someone that prefers drop downs, we've also included drop downs along with our search feature that allows you to filter if you're looking for a male or if you're looking for a specific status, all available to you. And if you want to look at a specific animal, such as Buddy here, we've provided various cards that put all in one place separately all the information relevant to Buddy. And if I want to go through the process of caring for Buddy, I can just provide an entry with this easy to use modal where you can just check the status, click everything with just a few clicks, and then it'll update the information to show that Buddy is now under my care. And because we as engineers love using reusable components, we had our inventory item listing follow the same functionality. And if you want to see more information similar to an animal, you can just click the inventory item, and for accounting purposes, you can see everything that you need to know for that specific item. And when you go to the My Animals page, you can see an animal like Buddy here, who's been fostered to my care, and it'll take you back to the page to show you everything that you need for Buddy. And one last feature that we decided to add was an AI assistant named after Claudia's pet, Wolfie. So if you'd like to ask Wolfie a question so that you can contribute to the shelter, you can see Wolfie working in the background, fetching the information that you need to help the shelter as much as you can. And with that, we hope that when you're considering an app of choice for your animal shelter needs, that you consider Happy Tails Animal Shelter. Thanks so much, everyone.
Hi, I'm Vince Villanueva,
And I'm Eric Bush.
and this is Tutor Toys. It's a tutoring center management platform that helps tutoring businesses reduce customer churn and stop losing revenue from untracked sessions. We accomplish this by offering a simple credit-based booking system, student progress tracking for parents, and shared tutor notes so every session builds on the last. The technologies that we used for the front end were React, Next.js, TypeScript, CSS, Tailwind, CSS, and Material UI. For the back end, we used JDK 21, Spring Boot microservices, containerization, Docker, database, PostgreSQL, Supabase, and CI/CD, Render for the back end, Vercel for the front end. Now let's take a look at that demo.
Our application allows parents, tutors, and administrators to access everything within the system. So on the parent side, we can see that we have a section for seeing your students' progress and whether the grades have increased or decreased so that parents can know, can see the progress that is being made through these sessions. And we also allow parents to add students to the tutoring center just by putting in their first name and last name so that they can easily add and enroll a child for sessions at your business. And we also allow parents to buy credits, which can be bought in bundles at a discounted rate to increase customer retention and keep your customers coming back. And for the tutoring section on our website, this is where parents can opt to join sessions and choose which student they want to enroll in a session. So once we book the session, it will tell you what tutor you're booking for, and it will show you on the dashboard which session or which student the session is booked for. So you can switch students to be able to manage all of your students effectively. And then we also support tutors. So from the tutoring dashboard, we can view all of the upcoming and completed sessions. And we can also see notes from the previous tutoring session. So that way, for any student we have,
we can know where the last tutor left off and where we should pick up. And that's very important for session continuity from one session to the next. And you can also grade a session and enter notes for any session that you have completed. And the grades are going to show up on the parent's dashboard, which allows them to see the progress that their student is making through the sessions. And in addition, we also have administrator access. And through the admin dashboard, you can see statistical information about the business and the business's financial performance, such as revenue tracking, how many credits have been bought, how many sessions have been booked, and also the revenue and total number of parents in your system. And then you can also go to the student tab, which will tell you how many students you have, which students are the most active and the least active. And that allows you to pinpoint your customer base and see which parents and students you might need to reach out to see if they are interested in booking more sessions. And in addition, we also allow administrators to register tutors, and this allows you to manage your business's employee accounts and decide when they should be created and when they should be deleted. And this was a very fun project to work on. We all worked very hard on it. And if you would like to connect with us after this presentation, we have all of our QR codes for our LinkedIns in this slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nate, and I am a part of Team Denis and Kelvin. Today, we will be presenting our web application called Cuddle Buddies. This web platform is designed for animal shelters and foster-based veterinary operations that need a better way to manage animals, supplies, medical data, and foster records. Our application is built using React, Vite, TypeScript, and Tailwind with ShadCN for styling. For the backend, we used ASP.NET Core with C# and Supabase. Many shelters still rely on spreadsheets, paper notes, text messages, or memory to manage foster care. This creates avoidable operational problems, especially when supplies are lost and important medical updates or animal records are not consistently documented. Our application provides a smooth digital platform to address these common issues shelters face. It includes 2 separate portals, allowing employees to manage operations while foster parents have their own personal portal. It also features built-in registration flows for easier digital onboardings. The first major problem animal shelters have is inventory loss. Shelters often send food, crates, medication, and other supplies to foster homes without a reliable system for tracking what was requested, what was fulfilled, and what inventory is still available. To solve this, our application includes a foster supply checkout system. Here, foster parents can request supplies directly through the platform by adding items to a cart and submitting an order request. On the employee side, staff can review, fulfill, and track those requests while also monitoring the current inventory levels. This creates a more organized process and helps shelters reduce waste, replacement costs, and untracked inventory. Another major issue shelters often have are fragmented animal records. When shelters do not have a centralized source of truth for each animal's history, temperament, and foster-related updates, handoffs become more difficult, staff lose context, and liability risk increases. Our solution to this is the Animal Profile Database. Employees can view pet profiles, assign animals to foster homes, and access centralized information about each animal's medical history, temperament, and care records. This gives the shelter a single place to manage critical information and make the overall foster workflow more consistent and reliable. An important major issue shelters may also have is broken medical continuity. Medical and behavior updates are often scattered across calls, notes, and messages, making it difficult to maintain a consistent history of care and increasing the risk of missing important health information. To address this, our application includes a medical continuity log. Foster parents can go directly to their pet portal, view the pet's profile, and submit medical or behavioral updates through the platform. Once submitted, those logs become available to employees, allowing staff to review the information and respond when needed. This helps preserve continuity of care and creates a more reliable digital record of the animal's condition over time. So how does our system and features work behind the scenes? When users interact with the app, the front end makes API calls to our ASP.NET Core backend. This handles the business logic, talks to our Supabase database, and sends back data to React to display. This data is displayed mostly through customized, reusable Shadcn components. As for our workflow, with the power of Git and Jira, we were able to contribute to the project in an agile workflow. This allowed for the necessary planning and communication to build out the application as a team. Through the collaborative effort of our development team and our shared vision, Cuddle Buddies was built to create a stronger operational foundation for shelters and the animals they serve. Thank you for watching, and let's continue working to improve the lives of animals everywhere.
Hello everyone, my name is James and I'm here with Danny. We are from Team Jarrod and Kaleb. Our project was on waste management route optimizer. I'll be going over some of the problems and the solution that we provided. So we want to minimize some of the constraints that the customer can request extras, miss pickups, and then also optimizing on the route so that the driver can save time and fuel efficiency. The solution we provided was a customer portal, the driver dashboard, and the backend logic that will handling the customer request. Here's a front end for the customer UI. You see the status, the routes, the requests, and then here for the driver UI, you can see the components for like the list of addresses the driver needs to take care based on the current day, and then the route health. The tech stack that we use for the backend is mainly focused on Python, and the framework is Fast API Super-based client, which is used for data modeling and authorization. The front end, we use React and TypeScript. And then what's standing out of this build is that it shows a clear separation between the customer and the driver component. It also fits all the minimal viable requirements for this app. And then it shows a clean service boundary between the UI, the API, and then the backend services. Some other thing that we could integrate in the future would be admin role, better visualization, better testing, and then a stronger workflow. Okay, here are some of the QRs for our team members. You can take a few seconds to take a look, and then before I transition into my demo. All right, sounds good. Now I'll be going over the first endpoint. So to generate the routes, the service jobs, here I put in the request date, and then it will take these service jobs, aggregate from like multiple tables in the backend, and it will display over here in the driver manifest based on a sequence order. Once that is done, it will take all those addresses and then get passed into another functions here, which will optimize the routes. And then these routes will be ranked based on the shortest to the furthest distance. And then for the rest of this demo, I'll hand it over to Danny.
Hey, I'm Danny. I'm going to go over the driver dashboard first. So you can see the driver dashboard. The driver decides if service successfully or unable to service. In this case, unable to service. Improper placement of garbage. I'm going to choose the file. Open and hit submit. As you can see, as it's submitting, the image is uploaded to the database, and it goes on to the next stop. This stop is serviced successfully. Same with this one. Same with this one. And as you can see, this one was skipped, and this is for extra pickup. Now, if you go to the driver manifest, it gets updated of all the deliveries that have been, all the pickups that have failed or completed or skipped. And these are the pending routes. I'm going to sign out and sign into the customer login. As a customer, on the driver dashboard, I uploaded a picture, and you can see that picture here. You can see the status failed, service issue, improper placement of garbage. This is the image that the driver uploaded. You go back to dashboard, and you can see the pickup was failed, and the customer can schedule extra pickup or skip pickup. Submit. And this is the database showing the different images that have been uploaded. I refresh. You see that picture that I uploaded is right here. And that's it. Use our LinkedIn. And shout out to our team lead, Jarrod, Kaleb, and our team members, Prayus, James, Dippin, me, Duran, and Mandy. Thank you.
Any pet owner can tell you that caring for an animal means being prepared for chaos. Between feeding schedules, medication routines, vet trips, and the amenities needed for an animal's care, it's easy for supplies to go unaccounted for, medical records to go missing, and illnesses to go untended to. Unfortunately, when these things start to fall through the cracks, it results in lost money, or even worse, sick animals. This problem is felt even more deeply by animal shelters who have scores of pets in their care. For these shelters, replacing items that are lost or never returned and having to retreat animals due to missing medical records can cost thousands of dollars every year. ShelterSync is an animal shelter inventory management system that mitigates these issues entirely. This all-in-one platform acts as a single source of truth for animals, inventory, and medical and behavioral histories. Using a React front-end and a Node and Express back-end in conjunction with Supabase's data storage and authorization, we've created a smooth interface that offers a unique blend of transparency and security. Starting things off as a regular user will navigate to what I feel is the most important thing, the animals. We see here that Reggie has 2 animals assigned to him, a cat named George and a dog named Drogo. Clicking in, we can see general information, personality traits, and medical and behavioral histories. If we want a more detailed view of those histories, we can come to our foster logs table and filter out by the animal, and we see Drogo's history from the time that he started at the shelter, and a user can add for their own animals their own logs. So we'll say that Drogo went to the vet today for a routine checkup. We can add the log, get the confirmation, and see the changes reflected in our table. We can also check on the user's supplies by sorting to our active ones, and we'll know that the shelter is expecting back a large dog crate. So as you can see, users have a total view into the things for which they're accountable, taking what could be a hectic scenario and turning it into a few simple clicks. However, as we mentioned before, an application that only focuses on the fostering user would be solving a fraction of the problem, as staff users still need to manage and oversee the goings-on of all the animals and inventory in the shelter. So heading over to the administrative side of things, we'll see that we're logged in as an administrator. We can head to our portal, where we see an overview of everything going on in our system, the users, animals, loans, and transactions, as well as tables that briefly describe these transactions. We can click into our users and see their names, emails, and the roles assigned to them. We can see all of the animals in our system, whether they're sheltered, fostered, or adopted, and we can click into them to see a more detailed view edit them, or add new ones. Similar to the user side of things, we have a timelined history of all of the medical logs for all of the animals in the shelter. And as we saw at the top, the one that Reggie just made for Drogo, his routine checkup going to the vet, is right here ready to be viewed. If we had questions concerning who made these logs because of accuracy issues, we can head right over here and see who made what and what time they made it at for which animal. So knowing that we have all of this locked down, we can move to the supply side of things. Over in inventory, we can see all of our inventory plus the transactions. We can also come over to filter out if somebody were coming in looking for a crate. We see that we have 16 in stock, so plenty to give out. We can move over to our loans, creating a new one, where we will say that we are giving a metal crate to Tommy. He only needs the one, and we'll submit that. So now we'll see right up here, Tommy has his one metal crate, and we'll say that we actually got this one back from Carlos. So we'll still see the same number overall when we come back and filter again, that we still have 16 in our database, but as you can see, we have one extra blue crate, one less metal crate. So as you can see, this takes care of everything as far as tracking who has what and where it's gone. We've also added, for those of us that respect our retinas, a dark mode feature. And in case you ever get lost in the system, we have an AI assistant to navigate for you and to answer questions directly for you as well. All in all, Shelter Sync goes a long way to mitigating the issues and complexities that go into running a shelter and caring for an animal. And it ultimately leaves you with more time to focus on what truly matters, your animal. A special thank you to Yoon and Michael for leading us and always being there when we needed help. A huge thank you to my teammates that worked on this project with me. I really feel as though we knocked it out of the park. I had an absolute blast working with you all, and I think anyone would be lucky to work with any one of you. Thank you.
For our project, we chose to create a tutoring application. We found that with the tutoring industry, two major problems that normally occur is customer churn and revenue leakage. And so we created an MVP in which we had an inventory of time system where parents can purchase credit and therefore book a session with those credits, allowing that each session could be properly tracked and billed. And then we created a return on investment dashboard in which the parent can see students' progress, such as goals and percentage reach, so that the parent can clearly see the value of the tutoring sessions. And then third, we also implemented session continuity notes in which the next tutor can see where the previous tutor left off and keep track of the students. And so this all together, these features and more help the tutoring centers increase customer lifetime value while preventing unbilled tutoring hours. To demo out what I just explained, here's our landing page in which you can sign up as a parent and start the process. But for demoing purposes, we will be going into a persona. So today we're going to step into the shoes of Sophia Carter. And so Sophia has children in which she has tutoring sessions for each child, and she wants to buy a couple more. So she's going to purchase 5 credits in which you can see are automatically updated. And we're going to dive into Emma. So Emma has no upcoming sessions. So we're going to go ahead and book a session for her. She's needing a little bit of help on algebra. And so we're going to choose Ava Johnson. We're going to look and see about her, the subject she teaches. We see she has a couple reviews in which those reviews are automatically adjusted to averaged out, both of those reviews, and we can see her next session. But we cannot forget the subject. And so once we choose everything, we're going to book a session. Once again, choosing Emma and confirm that session. Once that session is confirmed, we are then rerouted back to the parent dashboard.
Now that we've seen how the platform works for the parent perspective, let's take a look at the tutor persona. Tutors can see upcoming and past sessions, total sessions completed, their average rating, and the number of students they have helped. Session can be viewed weekly or monthly, helping tutors understand learning trends. The subject breakdown chart shows how sessions are distributed across different subjects, helping users quickly see where students are spending the most learning time. To help parents better understand their child's learning progress, we added goal progress tracking. Parents can set learning goal for their children and the system tracks their progress over time. After each session, tutors can update progress in session notes. These notes help parents stay informed and allow other tutors to quickly understand the student's previous progress. Here we are entering Emma's goal progress. Her earlier progress was 35% in maths and 40% in algebra. In her most recent session, she improved to 90% in maths and 80% in algebra. These updates automatically appear in the student progress dashboard so parents can follow their child's learning progress. Because users have busy schedules, we choose charts and visual indicators to make progress easy to follow. Admin persona can view key metrics such as the number of parents, students, tutors, and credit purchased. They can also monitor credit purchases and see the tutor-to-student ratio. The Dallas Learning Center platform uses Java with Spring Boot with Hibernate handling data in layered structure to keep the code organized. We tested early and frequently to help maintain the stability and reliability of the system. For the database, H2 runs during development and Postgres runs in production with Flyway managing database updates. The interface uses React with TypeScript organized with reusable components and recharts to create visual graphs and charts. Swagger help us show and test our APIs. We use Git to manage the code and Jira and FigJam to track work and share designs. This application was built in 6 weeks, and during that time, we closed 134 pull requests that helped shape the platform you saw. The team behind this application is Brandon, Ermoni, Justin, Nikhil, and myself, Judith. Thank you, Mike, for leading the team, and to Danny and the team for organizing this event. Thank you for watching our demo.